Hello, welcome to my ESL certification test. This is a quick snippet into the ESL State of Texas certification test. I just took it, I passed, first go around, yay me. So I'm going to give you some information about how I did that and just some things that might help you out. But the best thing that I had Dr. Lumbreras, Tarleton State University, as my instructor. His class was awesome. And I'll tell you what kind of he did that made it so helpful. So, real quick, um, so this is for the ESL supplemental. Okay, it's not a bilingual test. It's none of the other ones. This is just for ESL supplemental 154. It's an 80 question test. You have 5 hours to do it. It only took me about 2.5, and that was every 30 minutes, get up, take a break, walk down the hall, come back, just so I can stay frosty. I didn't want to turn into a zombie clicking answers on the computer and make an easy mistake. Um, so take your time. You got all the time in the world. There's no way it would take you 5 hours. It shouldn't. It really shouldn't. Um, Passing score is 240, as with most of these state exams. That's what the exam fee is right now, $116. That could change, but at the time of the recording, that's what it costs. Results take about 2 to 3 business days. And to prepare, if you look down here, this is a link. I can't click it because this is a screenshot, but view the preparation materials for this exam. Where I lifted this screenshot from is directly from the Pearson scheduling website. So where you schedule all your state of Texas teacher exams, this is that same site. Okay, what was on the test? So it's made up of 3 domains. This is the easiest way I can explain it. There's 3 domains, right? Look at the bottom of the picture I have here. Domain 1 is language concept, language acquisition. That's 25%, aka 1/4 of the test, right? And domain 2, ESL instruction and assessment. That's almost half the test. Study everything, but maybe start with that, right? That's going to be most of your test. And honestly, 45% seems a little low because that felt like way more than that for me. Obviously, it wasn't, but it sure felt that way. Domain number 3, long thing, foundations of ESL education. Are you culturally aware? How do you get the family and the community involved? That's 30% of the test, okay? So there's big chunks of all of it, okay? So you do need to know all of it. There are 7 standards you can see listed at the top of this right here. I'm not going to read through all those. That would take forever and take forever to explain. But just take a second, look at the standards, and look down at the bottom, and you can see standards addressed. So let's just look at domain 1, concepts and acquisition, 25% of the exam. It's covering standard 1, which is at the top, and standard 3, which is obviously a couple down. That's what they're covering. Okay. So for domain 2, that's a lot. That's standard 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. That's a lot, right? That's a lot to cover. And it's also most of the test. So use that picture and kind of make a study plan based off that. Speaking of studying, what did you use to study? I want to pass the test. I don't want to study and just waste all my time, right? So the Tarleton State educated program uses 240 tutoring a lot. Now, for people like me, it's not the greatest resource, okay? And that's okay. It works great for other people that I know. That's great. Know what works for you, okay? This is my actual practice test from them. So overall, I got an 86. Now, I will say that on my actual test, not bragging, and if he scored better than me, good for you. I got a 270. If you take that and break it down mathematically, that's the equivalent of getting about a 90%. So I actually scored a little higher on the state exam than I did on the 240 practice test. But you'll see, if you'll notice, domains 1, 2, 3, look, they're exactly the same. Pretty cool, right? So this is targeted. This will help you. This is a good resource. I don't recommend as a single source. Okay. Use it if you'd like, use it, but also keep an open mind and realize they're not going to always have all the answers. And furthermore, I'll tell you this free of charge. Um, you cannot pre teach vocabulary or lessons. You cannot pre teach to a beginner ELL because they have no use of the language. You're talking gibberish to them. You can't teach them that. Now, there's other things you can do. You can use pictures and have them put them in order, or have them draw a picture instead of writing sentences in English. I'm not saying that, but I will tell you on 240, they said one of the answers said you could um, pre-teach at any proficiency level in regard to the ELPs. No, you can't. Okay, you will get that wrong. So please make sure you use this correctly, but not solely. Okay, I can't stress that enough. Branch out, use it. Don't rely only on it, though. Moving on. So here's something else I used. So the same site in which you register, if you click where I pointed out 2 slides ago, when I pointed out the preparation material that's on that test on that website, this is what pops up. Okay, so you have all about the examinations, how to prepare, the overview and the exam work, sample questions, preparation resources, and it's just this big giant list. I didn't include that. You can look at it. I use this. Okay. I use the menu of this a lot, and it really helped. These are the guys giving you the test. It makes sense to me to look at what they are giving you to prepare for. They're giving you the test. You should probably see what their sample questions are, right? I mean, I would, and I did, and it worked for me, but I can't speak for everyone. Here's another thing you can use. Now, I will warn you that the TEA preparation manual for the ESL Supplemental 154 is long, hundreds of pages. Okay. I'm not saying read it cover to cover. Look through it, glance through it. If you know what you're good at, and maybe not worry about it. Glance over it, don't worry about it. If you are terrible at like domain 2, that's half the test. You need to buckle down. This would be a good resource to use for that. Okay. So, again, I use the combination 240 tutoring and the Pearson website examples and samples, the TEA prep manual. I used all of this. Okay. Now, I didn't stay up till 4 in the morning studying every night. I'm just saying I used a healthy combination and I felt prepared and I felt comfortable in my test. Another one, be careful because anyone can make these. Quizlet. There are some really good Quizlets in there. Now, I pulled this one up. I didn't make this one. Okay, full disclaimer, and I'm not endorsing this exact ESL supplemental study that they've made. I'm just saying use this one too, if you would like. Okay, so there's tons and tons and tons of content on Quizlet. Most of it's pretty spot on. But again, anyone can make it. So you're only going to get as good or bad of a set as you can find. Use with caution. You may use it, but be careful. It's like Wikipedia. Anyone can mess with it. Okay, let's finish it out because we're going on for a while here. Read the question and the scenarios really carefully, okay? Because they may give you this 2 paragraph long scenario, and at the very end, say, like, what would you do for a beginner ELL? And it's like, well, that whole paragraph didn't even need to be mentioned. Like, there's only one thing in the question, or I'm sorry, in the answers that a beginner ELL could do. So I didn't even really need to read that. And again, I can't give you specific examples, but I'm just saying that read it carefully. And if it's real long, read the example, read the question, go back, read it again, and find what in the world are they asking me about exactly. Go find it, and then go find the right answer. You got all the time in the world. There's no reason to rush, right? You need to know a few court cases: Lau versus Nichols, Castaneda versus Bacard. Know those, okay? They're important, and there's a reason they're important. The different ESL programs, like a push-in or a pull-out or I mean, who knows? I do, but I don't want to take too much time. So, Know about the different ESL programs, know the interventions, and know the different ways that a school can implement instruction for ELLs or shelter in place. I didn't put that one in there. You need to know shelter instruction. You need to know shelter instruction. That's super important. I didn't put that in here, but that's a program. Know it, okay? Um, how to teach slash intervene at different ELPS levels. There's different ELPS levels. Their abilities that they're expected to do at those levels are all different. What they are able to do is all different. Okay, so you need to know what each of the indicators are. This is what I was talking about earlier that Dr. Lumbreras in his class had us go through the ELPS one by one by one by one. Now, it took a while, but I'm going to tell you now, I sure felt way more comfortable looking at work or samples or a situation and being like, I know exactly what proficiency level that kid is at. I know what they can do and I know what they can't do. And that will help you very, very much. Know your ELPs and your TELPUS. Know the ELPs. Um, Krashen's five hypotheses. Gotta know them. Okay, there's only five. It's not that hard. Figure out a mnemonic or a way to remember them. You don't have to remember them in order. Just associate key words. Okay, don't say I know the names of the five hypotheses. Okay, what are they? What are they talking about? Acquisition learning. What does that mean? Know that stuff. Okay. Last, accommodating lessons for ELLs, especially beginners. I will tell you that knowing how to teach all levels is important. Knowing how to teach beginners is going to be very important. Okay. Again, they have little to no ability. So there really shouldn't be any reason to select something that says, you know, have them write a story about their life, and that they can't do that in English. So just be careful. It goes back to the top. Be careful, read it carefully, know the else. Okay. And that's pretty much all I got for you. So thank you for hanging in there and take care.